Okay, in this video we're going to set up and show you how to use your stacked wall system in Revit to create a stem wall and a footer. So we're going to go ahead and do that, where we can create a stem foundation wall and a concrete footer that function as one unit. They will then both be able to move and be adjusted depending upon how we adjust and move our bottom of foundation and bottom of footer layers, and the wall will adjust accordingly. So with that being said, we'll jump back into our file where we're ready to start setting up our layers and build the stacked wall. So I'll jump into my east elevation here, and I'll grab my levels. Be careful to line them up so they link up with each other. That way they'll move with each other later. And I'm going to go ahead and put 2 levels in at this point. Those 2 levels will become the bottom of footer and the bottom of the foundation. And it may be a little redundant to name these 2 here since they're only 8 inches apart, but I'm going to go ahead and do that just to keep things a little neater and cleaner in setting this up. So bottom of foundation is going to be negative 3 feet 9.5 inches, and I'm doing that so that I can keep a division here between the top of the foundation and my bottom of foundation here. Keep this division divisible by 8. We're going to use the CMU wall here. So we'll go ahead and set this up, and then what we'll do is set the bottom of the footer up so that it is 8 inches lower. So we'll go ahead and do the bottom of the footer at negative 4 feet, negative 4 feet and 5.5. There we go. And we'll go ahead and just drop a dimension in here, verifying we're at 8 inches below. So with that set up, we'll jump back into our section and we'll drop some elbows in here so we can see this a little more cleanly. And we'll go ahead and now start building our stacked wall. So to go ahead and build a stacked wall, we'll go back to level 1 so we can access our wall tool. We'll go grab the basic wall, generic 6-inch. We'll edit that one. And we'll go right ahead and duplicate this wall. And I'm going to go ahead and call this 8 by 16, not 18. So this is going to be an 8 by 16 CMU wall. Whoops, there we go. And hit OK there. We're going to go ahead and edit the structure, and then we'll jump into our materials, find CMU, and here I've already set up a 8 by 16 CMU wall, so we'll grab that, make sure the name is set, the description is set, that way I can pull this for material noting later, and then we'll set this up to be 8 inches thick. And that's all I need here at this point in time, so I'm going to go ahead and hit OK on that, and hit OK on this. Okay, so I'm going to jump back in and start setting up my next wall. I'll use, this time I'll just grab the generic 8-inch. Doesn't really matter which one I use. Hit Edit Type and go ahead and duplicate right away again. And I'll call this 24-inch concrete footer. And we'll go ahead, concrete footer, hit OK. Now we'll jump into the edit the information here. So the thickness is going to be 24 inches. It's going to be 24 inches wide. Sample height, we can go ahead and change that 8 inches. It doesn't really make a whole lot of difference other than my preview here. And now we'll go ahead and by material, we'll jump in and see, we're going to do concrete. Oh, here we got 24-inch concrete, 8-inch bar in that as well. So we're going to just use that right away. You can see it's in the name and description. That way it'll come up when I pull my materials. So that's all good. Hit OK. Hit OK. Now we're ready to go ahead and build up a stacked wall. So I'm going to go all the way down here to the bottom and find the exterior brick over CMU. So we'll edit that type, duplicate the wall, and this is what we're going to go set this up and be my 8 by 16 CMU wall with a 24-inch footer. Got it. So we'll hit OK, grab structure, and now we go in and just start pulling that information in here. Go select these walls. The first thing is going to be the 8x16 CMU, and it's going to be variable in height. That'll adjust up and down with my levels. And then I'll go ahead and find my footer. So I'll go in and find there's my 24-inch concrete footer. We'll grab that. And the height for that footer is going to be 8 inches. It's going to be a fairly well set height. So this is now set up. These two objects are going to be linked up here together. And actually with a sample height of 20 feet, let's just drop that down to 4 feet. Make it a little easier to just view here, see what we got going on here. All right. So given that that is put in position here, we'll jump out of here and hit OK, and hit OK. And now we're ready to start positioning this wall and running that wall around the outside. Now the only thing I do want to look at is looking at when we want to start positioning this wall. We're going to run directly underneath of this stud wall, and we'll use this exterior face to do so. So in thinking about that, if I were to look at this wall, probably what we should have done here is when we were in here and editing this, we don't want to work with the core center line. What we really want to be working with here is going to be the core face exterior. So if I did that, you can see what happens to my wall position here. So thinking about how I'm going to draw the wall makes a difference in how this is going to get set up. Okay, so with the core face exterior set, we're going to go ahead and move the concrete footer over. So we're going to go ahead and set this up to move that over by 8 inches. And what that does is it maintains the CMU as the core face exterior 00 and then pushes the footer underneath of it. So that should allow us to draw with the core face exterior directly on top of this line here. Now, the only thing is that we're working in level 1 right now, and I really don't want to be working in level 1. Where I'd like to do this is the bottom of the foundation. I'm sorry, the bottom of the footer layer. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up, make sure that my fine detail level is on. So when I zoom in here, I can actually see the levels, the wall levels here. If you're doing a full foundation, you have to set this up. Let's say you're doing this and you got 8-foot walls. When you jump to that BO footer layer, you'll probably have to get in to adjust your view range so you can see high enough up. But for now, this works. So we're going to grab the wall tool. Got this stacked 8x6. Well, it should be 8x16. We'll have to get in and fix that. And then we should go ahead and draw a wall all the way across here to the other side. Now, let's see here what's going on. Look like we probably never set our levels. Let's get into that section. And yeah, you can see that this foundation wall is running way up here through the house. Well, the reason being is that we never set that top constraint. Top constraint here should be set to be TO foundation. And once you do that, you can clearly see that the foundation wall is running directly underneath of the 2x6 sill. That stem wall and footer are all tied together. And if we wanted to change this up and actually make these change in height and pull this down, make our section come down here with us so we can see this all pulls and it's nice and clean, keeping everything together the way it should be. So this method seems to work out great, and hopefully aids in drawing different types of walls, and really should be useful when we get into doing garages where we have to do a 6-inch cap and the like, basically 3 different walls together. So hopefully you're able to follow through with this and master this stack wall system for foundations.